Hey guys, welcome back to Holly's Garage. My name is Charlie and today, as you can see, we are making over this outdated sideboard. So I've already taken off the handles and I'm just going to clean the whole piece inside and out with some simple green cleaner. Then I'm going to start by scuff sanding this with a 180 grit sandpaper, just using my Orbital sander. Scuff sanding is really important because it'll give the piece some teeth for the primer to stick onto and it'll help smooth everything out as well. And for the harder to reach places such as the sides of the walls on the inside, I'm just going to do that part by hand. If you don't have an electric sander, you can do everything by hand if you want, but if you're into saving time, then it's a really good idea to invest in a sander. I'm going in with my Kilz Primer. You guys are probably sick of hearing me say this, but it is my go-to because it's so easy to use, there is no cleanup, and it's also oil-based, so it's going to be stronger than a water-based primer, as well as it'll be able to hide your bleed-through if you have any. This product does dry a little rough, so just make sure to sand it down after everything's dry. We are already onto paint, and today I'm going to be using Sherwin-Williams Greek Villa. So this layer of white is just going to act as a base layer for the finish that I'm going to do on top of it. For these little wine racks, I'm going to be drilling some holes into just some scrap wood so I can have them stand up for me while I paint them. They already have dowels on the bottom of them, so they'll fit right in. Okay, so we're going to be doing a faux wood finish today, and it's going to end up looking something like this. And I just used this glaze and some dark colors and grays to just mimic the look of real wood. So I'm just going to show you how I do that. So I'm mixing up my glaze and my paint in a 50-50 ratio, but looking back, I probably could have used maybe like 60% glaze, just because the Rustoleum glaze that I'm used to, the pre-mixed one, is just a little bit more slippery and easier to work with. So now I'm all done mixing my glazes. I've got a light gray one and a darker one. So I'm just gonna put this all over my surface, put a couple of streaks of that, and then it should blend out to something like this. So let's go. So the first thing I do is apply that light gray glaze all over, then with a smaller brush, I'll run some of that darker color through it as well. I have a variety of brushes that I like to use for this, but for something small like this, I just like to blend it out with the same brush, and then with this little dollar store brush, I think it's like a nail brush, I'll run it through in one motion, and this will create those wood grains for you. And you want to try to go as straight as you can from edge to edge. Now for larger areas, I like to use this deck staining brush to blend the colors out. It's a really big fluffy one and it'll give you a really nice cohesive look. Then I'll use this other brush here that's a little stiffer, and this will kind of roughen up those grains, making it have less of like a blended blurry look, and in my opinion it looks a lot more natural. I'm going to be showing you yet another brush that I used, and this one is even stiffer than the last one, and this one is called a deck scrubbing brush, and this kind of does the same thing, but it's really wide so it gets the job done fast. The next day I went to work on doing the same thing on all the other surfaces. This little sideboard had so many surfaces, and it was actually pretty difficult to get the insides of the dresser because I had to almost like crawl inside of it, and the angles were really weird, and I don't know, it was crazy. We are finally ready to do the top. You guys probably know how it's gonna go by now. Put the gray on, apply the black, blend it out, and brush it straight. The first couple passes don't have to be perfect because of how long the glaze takes to dry, but just try to get that one perfect stroke and move on and let it dry overnight. If you make any oopsies, just do it again. Now I'm going to be using Behr's water-based poly to seal in our finish and protect the piece. And I'm using a brand new spray gun today, the Wagner Flexio 5000. We have 3 sprayers in our collection now, and I am happy to do a review/comparison video if you guys want to see that. And just like that, we've taken my client's old sideboard and turned it into something beautiful and modern, and it's gonna match her new space so well. She actually had us do a large mirror for her in the same way, so I'll put a reveal here too. This finish takes a little bit more labor than your average prep paint and poly, but I think it's so worth it to get such a cool result. So that is it for me today. Thank you so much for sticking around. I would really appreciate if you subscribed or left a comment if you did like this video, and I will see you in the next one.
All right, everyone.